What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd Show. Today we're looking at some special figures here. We have the Valaverse Action Force Series 2 figures. So we do have a lot of figures ordered from Series 1. We just have yet to get them. We've ordered them from Big Bad, and they have yet to receive them from like all the shipping issues. So unfortunately, we haven't got those yet, but they did already have some of the Series 2 figures, so we have some of them here. So first up, we of course have Sergeant Slaughter, which is awesome, which was a Series 1 figure. We are also waiting on is another version of him, but getting Sergeant Slaughter is awesome, especially with me being a big wrestling fan, knowing him from that. It's really cool to get a Sergeant Slaughter in here. He comes with a bunch of accessories. We also have Rollout, which is pretty cool here. You know, these are kind of based off G.I. Joe's. Action Force was a different type of like G.I. Joe's. So this is another company doing like their take on the different G.I. Joe characters. But Rollout here looks pretty awesome. Again, comes with a bunch of accessories. And then finally, for the bad guys of it, we have a Scarab from the Swarm. So they're like the bad guys in the Action Force line. And we have a Scarab, which is just one of their like ground troops. And he comes with some accessories and has that sort of bug design to him with like, we'll see with the eye and then the yellow and stuff. So it kind of looks like a bee and all that. So that is pretty cool. So I'm excited to check these out since we haven't gotten any of the first wave yet. So this is our first time dealing with them. So hopefully they're good figures. And of course we can kind of compare them to our classified series figures. But I'm just excited to check them out and hopefully they're good figures as well. So let me get them open and we'll take a look at them together. So starting off with Sergeant Slaughter here, of course he is a Special Forces team sergeant that turned drill sergeant that would pummel his recruits into the ground, giving him the nickname of Sergeant Slaughter. So this is pretty cool overall. Like I said, being a wrestling fan, I know Sergeant Slaughter from that, so getting him in a figure. So this is our first figure like this we've gotten since we haven't got the G.I. Joe one yet, and then we haven't got the Series 1 version yet either, so this is our first one. And overall he looks pretty cool, you know, pretty similar to what you'd expect for Sergeant Slaughter. So he's got the wide brimmed hat on, of course his face with the chin all prominent out, black tank top underneath with the tactical vest over the top, nice green pants on going down into the boots that look very similar to his wrestling shoes. Then he's got a watch on one hand and what looks like the paracord bracelet on the other. Nice holster here on the thigh with a gun in it, of course all the pockets, everything around on the tactical vest there. So very nice just looking figure overall. So hopefully movements and everything will be pretty good for this, so let's go and do that. So of course he has all these accessories you can take off and remove, so we can take his hat off to try and get that. So his head can twist all the way around and he can look down that far and up that far, so pretty good movements there in the neck. The shoulders can come up to 90 there and have the butterfly joints so they can move back and forth and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so not too bad there. The wrist can twist around and flex. This one is an up and down flex. He's got the ab crunch. There's a separation right in the middle, so it can crunch back and forth and twist around there as well. But of course with the vest on I can't really get a hold of the different parts because he also has a twist at his waist. And then it also looks like there may be a little bit of crunch there, just a tiny bit. But then we get the hips that can come up to 90 there, or pretty much over, so really good out to the side that far, not far from doing the splits. So yeah, he can do the splits actually. Thigh twist that can twist all the way around, but of course his gun's going to be in the way. A double knee joint that feels a little stiff, but can bend up that far to the back at least, so not bad. And then we get a shin twist at the top of the boot, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So overall has really good movements and everything. We can go and put his hat back on him. So that is pretty good figure just overall. I wish he wasn't as shiny, like everything just seems a little bit too shiny on him, but otherwise there's no real issues or anything. And of course, as I mentioned with being a wrestling fan, we do have a wrestling version of Sergeant Slaughter here. Of course we have multiple, but this is just one that I grabbed that gives pretty much a very similar look just overall. Just wanted to show that off that we have the wrestling version of Sergeant Slaughter as well. And of course with these figures, they come with a number of accessories. So like first that fit really well for him is that we have a set of sunglasses here. So we have sunglasses that we can put on. I don't know how well they'll stay on his head or anything, especially with the overall design and the feel like they're a little bit bent up from being in the package. So I don't know how good they'll stay on his face, but there it is with the sunglasses. So I don't think it overall works too well. I think they're too big and falling off, and then the hat doesn't stay on too well with this. So I wish they could have figured out something a little bit more with the hat. Like it is a hard plastic, so I wished it was soft so that would be able to like fit down on his head a little bit more. But overall that doesn't look too bad. And then of course for other accessories, these has some additional hands. We'll start there. So first off, we have a set of fist hands. So we have fist. We have a set of just standard grips because it looks like he has trigger finger hands on already. So a set of grips. He has a set of what I'd call cupping hands. So hands I assume to use for his gun accessories there. So we have one for left and right. And then of course we have a pointing finger for yelling and leading people and stuff. So nice pointing finger there. And then as I mentioned, he has a lot of other accessories. So we have some clothing stuff. So first off, we have a backpack. So just a backpack piece that looks very much like the G.I. Joe ones we've got with like snake eyes and stuff. So with this, I assume we can just pop it into his back. So he has a hole in his back that you could pop that into. But we also get a vest and a hat here in like a brown color. But again, they're hard plastic, so they're pretty stiff. And we tried to put this on like a classified gung-ho because that's what we thought these would be perfect for. But it's hard to really get them on because of how stiff they are. And so unfortunately, it didn't work out too well. I'm sure we could do it. We'd probably have to just heat it up to get it a little bit more pliable. But it just stinks how stiff it is. But of course, we can put this onto him. So there's Sergeant Slaughter with the additional accessories on. So he's got the vest on with the hat, and then I was able to put the backpack on much easier without that vest on. So that looks pretty cool. I don't know what I'd use this for, because for me, I just want Sergeant Slaughter to look pretty much how I remember him from wrestling. So I put the wide brim hat and probably that other vest on. But overall, I think that looks pretty cool. I think it looks like a whole nother figure. So that is awesome. And of course, he comes with a gun, as I mentioned. So we have a grenade launcher here, which looks pretty dang cool. And it's even cool that it has functions. So like the barrel can like spin around here, which I think is pretty awesome. But that looks cool. So let's try and get this into his hand. So there I got his outfit switched back, and then the gun in his hand, which went in pretty easy just with the double elbows and the butterfly joints and everything. Pretty dang easy to get into his hand. So overall, that looks really cool there for Sergeant Slaughter. Now with these figures as well, we also get a base to stand him on. So this awesome Action Force design with like the steel plating. So that is pretty cool. It's got 3 different spots you can stand people. So we just pop him on there. So there I got him on the base, so that looks really cool. A nice stable thing and a nice display piece there. And finally, he comes with the card piece that was on the back that we cut off. So it just gives you a lot of the information. So if you want to read what it's about and everything, you can pause it there. So it's pretty cool, nice design and everything there for Sergeant Slaughter. The card that we can then also stick into the back of the base. So much like the old G.I. Joe design, you can stick them in the back there to have it on display. So overall, that is really cool there for this version of the Sergeant Slaughter. And next up, we have Rollout, real name Gregory Seams, and he was a first lieutenant of Action Force and a top recruit due to his time in the Airborne and as a Ranger. And he looks pretty cool here, and just with his overall look and design and like some accessory pieces and stuff, he reminds me a lot of Roadblock from the G.I. Joe figures. So I feel this is just like a quote rip-off character of Roadblock, but he looks pretty cool here. So of course, you can see his face design there, which looks pretty good. He's got a gray shirt underneath with like this teal color vest design over the top. And then we of course have the Action Force sort of logo there. It's almost like a heart with wings, but a nice vest over the top with even some magazines there in the holders and just design all the way around. So I like that, how he has like the mixture of the gray and teal color. So that is pretty cool. Going down to the tan pants, even have some like knee pads on there, has some thigh holsters with the pistols like Sergeant Slaughter had, and then down all the way to the boots. So nice boot designs there as well, even with some teal gloves. So very much, like I said, looks a lot like Roadblock, but just a nice looking figure overall. So let's go do his movement. So his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. So pretty good. Shoulders up to 90 there with the butterfly joint, which is real stiff and doesn't really move as much, but it is there and can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, and the wrist can twist around and flex up and down for this hand. Again, I'm sure there's an ab crunch and everything there, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. Hips come up 90 out to the side, close to doing the splits once again. Thigh twist all the way around, double knee joint. That's stiff once again. I don't know what's up with these on there that can bend up that far, so not far from kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So yeah, I had the exact same movements as the Sergeant Slaughter, so I assume all the guys like this are going to be exactly the same. But like Sergeant Slaughter, he comes with a number of accessories. So as I mentioned, just for what he's got on him, he has the magazines in his little chest piece here. So I have the magazines that can even come out and will go into the gun that he comes with. So that is pretty cool that they're stored on his chest. And then he also has the gun, which I forgot with Sergeant Slaughter. The gun does come out and you can put it into his hands and everything, but it'll just store it in his holster for now. And he comes with an additional head. So first off, we have a head with that's all covered up. So like with a balaclava or whatever. So you just see his eyes. So we have that head if you want to have him more covered. And then we also get a helmet as well. So a nice helmet piece here. Has this goggle piece that you can take off, but we'll just go and pop it on to fill in the hole. But it's cool. It has the goggles there and even has like these little ear flap pieces that can pop off if you want them to. But we have this helmet that will go and just slide onto his head. So there it is there. And of course you have that additional mask piece you can put on so it cover more of his face and everything. I think will be cool. So let me try and switch this out. So there it is with the helmet. I think that does look a little bit better just with that face covering. Just fits a lot better overall for the helmet design. So that is pretty cool. He comes with a bunch of hands as well, so very similar to Sergeant Slaughter. So we got a set of fist hands, we have a set of just standard grip hands, and the set of like cupped hands again for holding some of the weapons, so that's cool. And for weapons, first we get a knife. So we have just a little knife piece, a nice cool design with shiny blade, and this we can actually stick into the back of his vest. So he has a slot there that it can slide into, which is cool. And then he comes with a rifle. So he has this big rifle, a nice tan color with the black details. Looks very realistic, so we can put this into his hand. hand. So there I got it in his hand. That looks pretty cool as well. So as I mentioned, it reminds me a lot of Roadblock. So here is that Roadblock figure. So you can see it has a lot of similarities, especially like the helmet and just the overall glove design. Of course, this is the more like classic looking version of Roadblock instead of like the more modern ones where he probably will look up much more like this one. But I just saw a lot of similarities just overall with the designs. Like I said, especially more if I had one of the more modern versions of Roadblock, it'd look much more like this. But just the overall design, the only thing this one needs is like the heavy gun and stuff. But I thought with the helmets and the face design, especially compared to those other ones, looks a lot like Roadblock. So like I said, Roadblock and Rollout, I think they're pretty similar. And just like Sergeant Slaughter, he comes with the same base plate to pop him on. So I got him on there. And then once again, he comes with the same card. So here's the one for a Rollout. So you can kind of read through that if you want to see that. But we'll go ahead and just pop this right into the back, like I said, for like a nice display piece there for a Rollout, which is pretty cool. And finally, we have the Scarab, which is the paramilitary ground force of the Swarm, and the Swarm is kind of like the Cobra of Action Force, and they are equipped with tungsten armor and a compound eye helmet that allows them to detect movement on all sides. So that's why we get that helmet design there, which is creepy. But they also operate on a hive mind interface, so they are just like a bug. But very nice design overall, like I said, with the helmet, the compound eye thing, so it does look like a fly's eye or just a bug's eye in general. There for the helmet, but even has like the mask little breather piece down here. And then it's all black and yellow design, so much like a bee or wasp, but it has the armor on the top, so it's nice armor vest plate on the arms going down and down the legs as well. Has another thigh holster with a gun in it, and then it goes all the way down the legs with all the armor pieces. So they're very heavily armored, but again, the Scarabs here are kind of like the ground infantry, so very nice design overall. I don't like the helmet design just because it'll just look so weird, like big and bulbous, but it fits for what it's supposed to be. But let's go do the movement. So the head there can twist side to side, but if you twist too much, it just pops right off, unfortunately, so you just get a little twist there. But you can look down that far and up that far, so not bad movements in the neck. Shoulders can come up, kind of first stand on them to get them up to 90 there. Have the butterfly joint that works a little bit better than rollouts, and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so not bad. And then the wrist can twist around and flex up and down. And again, I'm sure there's an ab crunch in there, but just crunch a little back and forth and twist around as well. You get the hips that can come up to 90 out to the side, thigh twist pretty much all the way around, double knee joint that bends that far to the, he can kick his own butt. And then we get the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So it's pretty much the exact same body as the others. I just thought it'd be a little bit different with all the armor pieces, but just, it's the same sort of limitations with the vest. But once again, a pretty decent figure. And he, like all the others, comes with pretty much the exact same accessories. So we get additional hands. So we get a set of fist hands, a set of just standard grip hands since he comes with the trigger, and the cupping hands once again for depending on what weapons you want him to use. And speaking of weapons, first off, we have a kukuri knife. So nice, awesome, big, thick knife there. That once again, like Rollout, we have a thing here in the back, a little holder to slide it into and stick it in the back there. And of course, we have the pistol that's already on him. And then we also get a rifle, which has nice like grenade launcher on the bottom of it, but nice just rifle design with yellow in the center and the black details attached onto it. So that's pretty awesome. And it also has the magazine that can come out, which was a little stuck in there, but can come out and we can replace it because he does also come with the additional magazines. But unlike Rollout, we don't have a place to store them on him. So it's just kind of a piece you have to not worry about not losing, but that's awesome that you can switch those out. But let's go and put this into his hand. Well, there I switched it up a little bit and put the rifle in his left hand, was able to use one of the cupping hands finally to put on like the grenade launcher piece there. So that looks pretty cool there. And as usual with all the others, he gets the base plate, so we'll pop him on. So I got him on there, and then of course we have his card as well. So there is the Scarab profile with all the information. So once again, if you want to pause and read that, you can read all about the Scarabs. So that is pretty cool. That will pop onto the little display piece here. And that gives us our Scarab, which I think is really cool. Well, there is our Series 2 of the Valaverse Action Force figures of the Sergeant Slaughter, Rollout, and the Scarab Trooper. I think all three of these are pretty cool. They're very similar to the Classified series, so if you want to get them and throw them in, they're not too far off. And just so you can see the difference, here is Snake Eyes brought in. It's going to be hard to like fit him in. There you can see how big he is compared to the other characters. So they're a little bit taller, but Snake Eyes tends to be smaller than all the other characters. But as you saw when I had Roadblock in with Rollout, Roadblock was much bigger. So they do fit in pretty well with your G.I. Joes and have the looks and everything. The only thing I don't like is just how shiny they are. That like will make them stand out quite a bit, but I think they fit in pretty well with the Classified series, so they're good figures to throw in. So if there's G.I. Joe characters that they're like making that you don't think Classified will make or want like specific figures or something, you can get those and throw them in with your G.I. Joes as well, and I think they'll fit in pretty well. But let me know what you thought of the Action Force figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.